Okay, now let's just do a little shout out. Okay, Botez Live, it might have a big chest thing going on. Alinity's got she's got, I don't know if this is real or if it's a game or something, but she's got Liverpool versus Darmstadt live. I think it's soccer, or they call it football. Mira is looking pretty good. I think she's doing a workout. Oh my God. I don't know which one's hotter. I wouldn't want to live on the difference, but Jade the Jaguar and Lin Niaonu or whatever, both are looking really, really good in this. Melina, uh, with friends in Stockholm, Sweden, she's got papers on there. I don't know what it is. Miss Fire is looking. She's looking different, but it's looking really, really good. Timmy Two Cans is on. Jen Fox, loading gamer girl. Social's getting ready. I can't see her. And then Cub Fan, Minecraft 1.20.1 from Hermitcraft 9 Live. So we got some Hermitcraft in the house. And Jen Fox looks like she's going to be doing Baldur's Gate, but I am not seeing anybody that's got Diablo 3. Cub fans keeping it real with Minecraft. Then we got Fire Dancer and Carabines, both looking pretty good. Fire Dancer's got Baldur's Gate 3 on. Carabines is looking really, really nice. She's got like a gold bikini on. Oh, Nagasaki's playing Diablo 4. Good for her. Serena Wild's still looking pretty good. She was on earlier when I was doing my other stream. And Sagittarian official is still doing the 200 push-up challenge. And that is the, oh my God. That is the highlights of what's in my feed. It always takes like a minute for my my thing to start streaming where I can log into it. Hang on a sec. So I went out and got my donuts. Long story, but I waited a little bit. But it was really nice out. I think we might have a storm because it was really sunny when I got up. So when I put off going until later, I figured, well, it's gonna be hot as shit. So I was fully intending, if it was really bad, on maybe not going. And but it was kind of nice out when I went. Now the sun's coming back up, but we might actually get some rain today, and that would be okay. But it was really nice. I was really glad that it was nice out. And then I I was doing stuff over by my raid farm, emerald farm, whatever you want to call it. And when I was getting ready to leave, I came back over here to at least have the gold farm running while I was gone. Yeah, this is starting to look kind of nice. That's something I gotta do. I gotta focus. I don't like doing it a lot unless I'm talking. If I want to have a conversation with you guys, I don't mind camping out over there. But I've been having moments where I felt like doing more stuff, so I haven't just been camping out. And I gotta say, I don't know if it's a defect, design flaw, whatever you want to call it, but the Xbox I have does not have a hard drive built into it, so I'm running one of those external hard drives. Well, if this thing shuts off on itself, I have to basically screw with it to get it to work. Otherwise, it'll tell me that the hard drive's full or some other crap to it. And basically, what I got to do is I got to power it back off, unplug the hard drive, plug it back in. And the last time I had to do it 2 or 3 times before it recognized it, and then it'll work just fine. And but it does not like being shut off. Like if I let like because I used to be able to do this where I would just camp out and just let it shut off on its own, and then I would get resources. Like I could let the trees grow or whatever else was going on. Okay, call to action. So for all of you out there, and if you don't want to do this, that's completely fine. This is like I put certain things into certain camps. Like if you are someone that thinks the world is flat, or if you are someone that denies the Holocaust, these are things that are going to prevent us from being friends. Like when I was still working at GM before I got sick, and just for people who don't know, I am pretty sure I got drugged or poisoned for bringing up quality issues. I'm going to call it being a whistleblower, but I don't know if technically I qualify. 'Cause I'm looking at the stuff going on where they're bringing in these people and calling them whistleblowers, and then you find out they're fucking stupid. Like you you had a handful of these people that the Republicans were calling whistleblowers, and you're finding out that they they were misusing their office. They weren't competent. They were mishandling like evidence and shit. And some of them had been fired and or suspended. Like they had one girl, and I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm really sure, but she was just basically talking about Jesus and God and all this. Like you work for the FBI. You don't work for Faith Builders International. You're working for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They believe in facts, not faith. And the only thing I can figure is maybe her dumbass thought she was working for Faith Builders International. I worked with and she was a really nice person, and but she had a drug problem or drinking problem, and she traded in her addiction for drugs or substance for an addiction to God. She became a born again lifer and all this shit. But she was a decent person, and it's like George Bush. George Bush, I think, was better off being a born again Christian than a dope addict. I really do. But that doesn't mean you want them in charge of anything important. You know, uh, that's just like a simple thing for me. But for all of you out there, go and if you want to help out, write, and you can do it. You can actually do it with a letter, get a stamp, get an envelope, get some paper. If you want to talk to the president, you can actually just Google email the president, and like somewhere on the first page, it's usually the first hit, it'll bring up the site where you can go and shoot the president an email. Some of your senators and Congress people, they will do the same thing. They'll have a form you can fill out online. You can hit them up on Twitter. Some of them are even on Threads now. That's becoming more of an accessibility point. But reach out to them and just let them know that we need assisted suicide legalized. We really do. Um, there's people out there that are sick. Some of them are dying. They're not going to get any better. There's nothing anybody can do. And at a certain point, they should have an option. Um, I'm really, now at the time I felt kind of bad. Like my dad got sick and he ended up on hospice, and I wanna be completely clear. The people that were doing hospice were absolutely great. And usually there's always room for improvement, but I want to say I do not think that the hospice people. I wasn't here, but the stuff I heard, the hospice people that took care of my dad were great. The ones that I dealt with were excellent. They were out of the Beloit Hospital system in Wisconsin. They were fucking great. No complaints. I think I maybe they weren't perfect, but I don't think you were going to get anybody better. They were just amazing. And I think I found that one horse I was looking for. If you caught the stream, it might already. It's either up or it's going to be up. But there was one where I honestly could not figure out where my horse went. I was really bummed out. I think I found it. I was looking for it back there, like where you come up the hill through the tunnel and then down to here. I was looking for it in that area, and I was like, this is when I was coming back to go hang out at the gold farm before I went to go get my donuts. I'm pretty sure it's right here, and I have no idea. I must have left it here. Like I said, I've been a little lightheaded lately. I got a good horse, so no big deal. But I think that is the horse I was looking for. I figured I'd find it, but I thought the damn thing would be wandering around loose. I really thought I fucked up. And I did, just not in the way I thought. But no, you just write them. And here's the thing, and this is what I told the president today in the email, and he probably ain't gonna read it. It's probably gonna be a staffer, and I'm okay with that. I'm really not that important. But I let him know, I go, look, if we can stand around and watch kids get murdered at school, if we can stand around and watch people get killed at the nightclubs and synagogues and shit like that, we can definitely allow this. The same people that stand around and are okay with the nightclubs and the school shootings, then they can shut the fuck up and sit down, and they can let us do this to help out people that are sick. And the thing I mentioned to him, I go, we've had cases in the past where you had a kid or some other family member, and I go, the family did not want them to die. I go, they absolutely did not want them to die. And what happened was the insurance companies didn't want to pay for it. The hospitals didn't want to pay for it. And guess what? They went to court. They got it approved that they could basically unplug these people and let them die. They could send them home without care and let them die. So I go, you know what? I go, we can definitely do this. I go, we it's already an established thing that this can happen. If a rich corporation, might have their profits infected, we can do this. So we can allow somebody that's sick to not have to fucking suffer anymore, not have to deal with the shit anymore. And so I hope that resonates with him. And then I reached out to Bernie Sanders and thanked him, because both of them, I reached out to both of them, and I told him, I go, look, I'm not one of your constituents, but I know you're working on this. And I asked him to kind of work on I told him, don't worry about me. I go, I think I'm a lost cause, but I go, see if you can do something for future people, help them out with Medicare. And I kind of told him what was going on. Well, I thanked him, because I go, I don't know if it was you or Biden, but I go, I reached out to both of you guys, and I go, you didn't listen. I go, I asked you not to worry about me, because I still firmly believe I don't think I'm worth the effort. And I go, I'm not one of your constituents anyways. But I go, some of the log jam at the Secrets or Social Security really has seemed to vanish. And I got a letter from them stating that they had been reached out to by the president, and they admitted that they got a backlog. And and part of the thing, if they actually had enough people that knew how to fucking answer phones, maybe things would move a little faster. I don't know, and I let them know that I was basically told that I'm going to be having an appointment with a couple of their doctors to evaluate me or observe me or whatever they're going to do. And I go, so that's good news. I go that because I go and I'm not kidding you. I'm reading the letter and they seem just shocked because they were already letting me know. This would have been like end of last year, the beginning of this year. They let me know. They go, okay, all your paperwork's done. We've done this, we've done that, and they said it can take years, to get an answer one way or the other. And they told me flat out when they sent me the email on the 1st of August, they're like, and it just, the way it was worded, it just struck me that they were a little shocked. But they said, yeah, when you finally get to where you're meeting with their doctors, they go, after that's done, they usually come to a determination within 1 or 2 months. And so that was actually really, really good. Really, really good. And so I thanked him for it. And then him and Biden, I told him the same thing. I go, look, I just hope I'm not having one of the best days of my life and, they can't see anything. I go, because I had mentioned this on Threads over the weekend or this morning or something, that, if my condition happens, because it's not a constant, it comes and goes. Some days are worse than others, but I go, if I have an episode occur, if the doctor can actually get a data or, oh, thank you, Anna, too. Thank you so much for the follow. And I just mentioned that, hey, if the doctor sees it, gets some data, like when I did the tilt table test, it was like a foregone conclusion because I have high blood pressure. And they knew what my blood pressure was. Well, after like 20, 30 minutes, my blood pressure got cut in half. So that was data. They could see it. Now, Social Security has that information, and for some reason it isn't good enough. And it was like a damn good hospital. The other thing that's going on is, like, I had an episode. I passed out, fell, and when I fell, I shattered my right ankle. Apparently that wasn't good enough. So I don't know what the hell they want. I can't imagine. I'm really hoping I don't have to fucking fall and break an ankle for these deadbeats to fucking want to do something. And, but I did tell them thanks. I go, I didn't expect it. I didn't want it. I'd rather see you do something for other people and not me. People that maybe have more of a chance. And, but I did appreciate it. And I told Biden, I go, look, I don't know what's going on, but I go, I got to meet with a mental doctor. And I kind of told the company that's helping me, I go, with all the physical crap that I've had to deal with since I got sick, since I lost my job, I go, if they look through and make up or exaggerate or, just invent some mental reason to, I go, I would consider that bullshit. I go, I think I might take it as long as I got the help. But like, with the years of medication I was taking, trying to still work, plus what's been going on the last 4 or 5 years when I wasn't able to work anymore, if they basically come out and go, oh, he's mildly depressed, let's give him some help. It's like, with all the real physical shit that's going on, that's gonna piss me off a little bit. I mean, because they're ignoring all the shit that they got from my old doctors. They're ignoring the shit that has recently happened, and so I don't know, but I told him, I go, look, I'll probably accept it, but it's like, my God, of all the shit, to fucking, I don't know. And I told Biden, I didn't, with on Twitter or X now, I was a little limited on my character when I was talking to Biden. I told him, I go, well, here's the thing. I go, you got the mental health exam, and I go, then the other one is supposedly internal medicine. But I go, the internal medicine one I think is at a chiropractor's office. And I go, yeah. I looked at it 3 times. I go, one of them is at a chiropractor. So I go, whether it's the mental exam or the internal medicine. I go, when I saw that it was at a chiropractic office, I go, I'm kind of a little worried that it's not real. That they're gonna say, oh well, he met with our people, and I go, and then they're gonna pull out a big rubber fuck you stamp and stamp it and deny me. I go, that's what I'm kind of worried about. That they've already made up their mind. They're not going to do a goddamn thing to help me, and they're just sending me to a chiropractic clinic so they can check a box and said they met with me. So I don't know. I just don't know. But I did appreciate at least something's happening. Um, yeah, I don't know. But there's that. Okay. Right now, I just want to kind of build up my stuff a little bit, and like if pretty quickly I do not get a banner, if I don't get a thing where I can get a bad omen, I'll go down and show you. I think I got a little bit done that I didn't have on a stream down below. Maybe not. And I gotta get a move on updating it because the only one I think that's really a danger right now is the arrows. Actually got it where that was filling up and starting to back up, so I had to empty that. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Yeah, I got more of this laid out. I think I got all of this laid out right now. The only thing I don't have is I got to go and put these in here, but I got this done. And this is what I'm talking about. Where are we? I think this is the one. No, not that one. It's this one. But I got these filling up pretty good. I don't know what's causing it, but every now and then I end up with the on these 3 levels. They might even be lower, but I don't go down there that much. I don't have any reason to go down there right now. But I got this done. I got the ice put in, and then all I got to do is hook up the redstone to get that to shoot over here, and then I got to put the ice and a I got to put the ice in one of those water bubble blocks, soul sand or whatever it is, and then I will have this going up, and I can put up a multiple chest storage unit, and I can put in a furnace and some other stuff. I might have to look. I'm trying to do this myself, but I have not gotten. I got it to work once, and then as soon as I set it up to do it automatically, and it's the same shit. I cannot get that hopper system to work to pull the potions out of it, so I might have to look and see what I got to do to get it to work. Uh, I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, and then if I don't have a banner, I'm gonna go and start putting. I'm gonna go and start putting some pumpkins in, and then I've got these to fill in the blocks with, but I'll go start doing that around here. I'll do more of this when I'm not streaming. I'll try and get some stuff. Now I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but I don't remember noticing this before. Maybe I did. I might have had this conversation with myself in the past. But if you look right where those crosshairs are, and I don't have any way. I don't have one of those telescopes I can zoom in. But I might actually put something that goes up to that, and then I gotta land there quick and see what's in there. But there's a little opening there, and that could be something where I could just go in there and light it up and see what's in there. And I'm gonna wait, but I think we're just gonna have to get it to where I get my food and my brother gets his food because I had a whole fucking bag of chicken breasts out on the porch, and he's been bugging me for the last couple of days. Like, oh, are we doing anything for a meal? Are we doing? Usually, like it ain't every day, but most days we'll do one meal together. And I think he's out of meat. He uh, he fucked around again. I don't know what he spent his money on, but he got some money, and it might have just been getting caught up on food and that. But he got some money and he spent it all, and he's been getting stuff for the cats. So I can't completely give him too much shit. But when I got back from getting the donuts, he was talking about this bag of chicken on the back porch in the little freezer in the fridge. I go, yeah, you know the one I paid for? And he's like, well, yeah, I bagged it all up for him, and he's cooking some of it, so it's for him. It's the stuff I bought, but I'm pretty sure he's fucking eating it. And and I don't do that shit. I just usually like, hey, when I go to cook it, I open up the bag, I take it out of the bag. Well, he rebags it into these individual things, and I think he's doing it because he's out of meat. He's gone and cooked all the stuff that he has. And and like the one day where we were talking about bread, he made some comment. He goes, well, I usually pick up the bread. And I go, yeah, you usually fucking eat it. I'm not picking that shit up when I don't eat it. I'm not splitting the cost of bread for you when I'm not having any bread. Now, if I'm going to have some bread, I'll help out. But, so I don't know. And I kind of mentioned to him today that I've been, hey, I'm trying to get some people to fucking legalize assisted suicide because if I don't get on disability, if my sister steals the fucking house from us, I really don't want to die homeless. I don't want to die of exposure. That would not be my choice. The stuff that happens to homeless people, people that are broke, I don't want to go through that. That just does not seem like a dignified end. And and then and I mentioned to him, really the only thing I really care about right now is, oh fuck yeah. What the fuck? I'm usually not this bad of a fucking shot. I'm gonna get the fucking storm. Hey, for something like this, you should get the the stormtrooper fucking medal from Minecraft for being such a lousy fucking shot. So they could call it the Force is weak with you or something like that. It's like, what the fuck? I was talking to him and I said, well, yeah, that, and I kind of mentioned to some of them that, I kind of want to keep, my mom's cat alive because I was there when they found her. I kind of nursed her back to health, and she's my favorite of the two cats. Well, then he's like, oh, well, I promised mom that I can't try and keep the cats with me, and I told him, I go, Jess, I got to be honest with you. I go, those cats would be better being put down than be with you. And he got kind of, he's, well, yeah, but I go, Jess, I don't care who you promised. I go, those cats, it would be more humane to put them to death than let you have them. Because I go, what's going to happen? It's going to be like what we're going through right now. I go, you're going to piss your money away on a phone or some fucking movies or some other bullshit that you got. And those cats are going to fucking starve. And you'll eventually get some food. You'll eventually reel and deal and fuck something up and get it for them. But I go, they're going to be without food, kind of like what we got right now. And, the shit where, there's some stuff he should be picking up for him. There's no litter. He's picking up no litter for him. I've been getting that for about 3 months now. And I told him, I go, I'm serious, Joss. I go, you can't take those cats. I go, you just absolutely can't. I go, you should not have any pets. I go, you won't take care of them. I go, it'd be far more humane to kill those cats than to let you have them. And I go, I'm just trying to be honest. I go, you won't fucking clean? I go, I'm the only one that fucking cleans in this place right now. I go, you haven't helped me do the litter boxes. I go, I broke my ankle and I've been doing the fucking litter boxes ever since I broke my ankle. I was doing it before. Because I told him, I go, hey, I broke my ankle. You are probably going to have to. And he's like, oh, I can't do it. Make me gag and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, if I had to take him, I'd do this. I go, Justin, you could do it now. I go, you're not doing it now. I go, you don't fucking clean. I go, you and your wife were the same way. I go, I knew what it was like over at your apartment. I go, I heard the horror stories of when they picked you up. You guys were too fucking lazy and worthless to pick up a fucking broom, to pick up a fucking vacuum cleaner and clean. And he got real quiet. He knows I'm right. And, this house is not clean great, but at least I'm doing what I can. And when as I get better, I'm doing a little more, but it's like fucking A. Anna too, thank you very much. That is. Yeah, this is what I was kind of speculating in the last stream. I don't know if it's because I'm actually lobbying elected people for assisted suicide to be legal, or I have reached out to members of Congress and the Senate and explained to them that I'm pretty sure they're being lied to by the Pentagon about UFOs. And that they're gonna have to probably put some of these. So I'm kind of exaggerating, but you never know. But I'm kind of exaggerating. Like, yeah, if I end up having to do these streams from a fucking straitjacket, it could very well be the military-industrial complex. Is like they probably found out. Oh my God, he's disabled. He needs some help. Let's get that motherfucker in a straitjacket so he quits writing his. We'll get him fucking drugged up so he quits writing his congressman saying we need to go to jail for not telling Congress what's going on. They were probably trying to figure out if there's a way they could kill me to get me out, and then they're like, hey, wait a minute, this guy desperately needs disability. He's talking about UFOs. We can probably just get him fucking nailed for being a nut and lock him up. Well, I'm not kidding you though. There's some of that goes around. There's this old guy that delivers our fuel oil. He's a pretty nice guy. He really is. I was talking to him the one day and I was letting him know. And this is the thing. This is not. I'm not getting this from FlatEarth.com or anything like that. This was like NASA's unexplained files on the Science Channel, but they were talking about how the moon might be hollow. And hang on. Nope, that ain't him. I might have to go up and flush that guy out. And I told him, I go, yeah, and I told him it was from like NASA files. It was on the Science Channel. But as soon as I said that, yeah, they were talking about how the moon might be. He just looked at me like I was nuts. Well, I got to get going, and whatnot. And oh my God. But the thing is, there's data for this. This isn't some theory of mine or Carl Sagan's or something else. They what they did was they put sensors on the moon on one of the Apollo missions, and when they landed on it with the lunar lander, when they took it back up to dock so they could go home, they dropped it. And when it landed on the moon, they said the moon rang like a bell for like an hour. And they don't know for sure, but they said either it's got a liquid center or it's hollow. And Carl Sagan, this would have been back when he was still alive. Carl Sagan made the comment that if it's hollow, and again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not. I can't really challenge it. I don't understand why he was saying this, but Carl Sagan made the comment that if it's hollow, then it's not natural. And I don't know. I literally don't know. But fucking A. That did make me feel kind of good though when I basically told people, yeah, write your congressman, try and get assisted suicide legal, because I got a feeling that is probably going to be easier to get done than trying to fix what's wrong with the You come on up here, sweetie. I might have to cancel the stream. Yeah. I offered you some of my lunch. If you didn't want it, that was fine. You are more than welcome to sit with me if you'd like. Yeah. I'd like to stream for a little bit. Yeah, if that would be okay, I'd like to stream for a little bit. I don't... Oh, snap. Okay, we're going to go up and... Oh, I got me some gunpowder. I'm waiting for a day where I'm a little more clear-headed, and then I might even do it on stream. I will go and I will go get my extra wings in the end. Yeah, but I don't know for sure, but like I said, it was mine. I picked it up, and he just all of a sudden, I bagged it up. I did this, and he's cooking chicken breasts, and it's like that shit's gonna have to end. I'm sorry. It's one thing to share my food when I'm cooking it, but if he can't afford his food, he's gonna have to quit eating so much. If he wants to be a fucking pig, then he better pay for his fucking food. But that shit, because I think he's already gone through his, and he won't have any money for at least another couple of days. Somewhere like middle of the month is when he gets his money. And see, he just got his food stamps, and he went through those, I think, in one trip. And to be fair, he lost his food stamps for a few months. And part of this is his fault for not getting a divorce. His wife dumped him off like garbage when my dad uh, died. And every now and then, what she does is she fixes it so she's getting his food stamps because, see, they're still married. And part of the fucking problem is he just needs to divorce her ass. You know, I don't know what you gotta do. I'm not saying I'd be in any better shape to fucking wheel and deal and get shit done. But, you know, he needs to file for divorce, and he can even fucking tell him she keeps stealing my fucking food stamps. And, you know, if she wants his food stamps, then she should take him back. And then they can fucking live together. But I told him, I go, well, why don't you, and I guess he's already done it. He's claiming he's already done it. But I told him, why don't you tell them? Because what he said this morning was, because he's getting it fixed, is she occasionally will go and tell them that he wants her to have it. And I go, well, why don't you tell them she's lying? I go, if she's lying to government officials, and he goes, I have been. And then what happens is when he talks to them, they get it fixed. Well, he needs to talk to somebody, a supervisor, and let them know, hey, if she keeps stealing my shit, you either need to prosecute the people that are doing it, like that work for you, or you need to prosecute her because this is fucking bullshit. You know, so that's part of his problem. But see, a lot of it is because they're still divorced. And the other thing I told him, I go, I don't know for sure, but I go, I'm wondering if she's done the same thing to your money. Because I go, if she can go in there and steal your food stamps, I go, what's to say she can't go in there and steal your money? You know, maybe if he gets divorced, he'll end up getting like an extra couple hundred a month or something like that, you know? Okay, I'm going to go. That's the one I wanted. Oh. Well, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. I am not. I'd shoot it to you straight. I really thought that was going to get ugly. Yeah, because that's not a normal thing he does. He usually doesn't, you know, like especially like real early. Like it was, I was just barely getting up, and he's like, "Oh, are we planning on a meal today?" And I go, "Well, I took hamburger out, but I didn't know if I wanted to fuck with it today. But I took a package of hamburger out, and I'm gonna make half of it into tacos, and the other half I was gonna use for pasta. And but I told him, I go, might not do that. But I told him, I go, I think there's pork chops in there. And he went and checked, and yeah, there. So that's what we're kind of planning on doing for supper, maybe. And but yeah, I'm not kidding you. I don't, you know, because the thing is, I think I'm buying more meat than he does, even before he fucked around and bought a phone. But I think I'm buying more meat than he does. and I'm not eating nearly as much. And like with the rare exception of like now where I bought some hamburger and used it for pasta that I just ate myself. I told him he could have some, well he didn't. And then I've done it for tacos a couple times. Now other than that, all the meat I've picked up we split. Sandwich meat I kind of eat myself and I share it with the one cat. I share it with the other one, but he don't usually want it all that much. And then occasionally, and I did that this past week, I picked up some tamales and but I picked up some tamales. Well, he don't eat those either. And but I think I'm gonna be doing a little more of that because it's like I don't know what's going on, but it's like, look, if you wanna spend your money on fucking clothes and movies and fucking phones instead of food, that's fine. But you can't fucking expect me to fucking feed you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep a cat alive. I'm trying to keep myself healthy. And down the road, when I run out of options, hey, that's a whole different story. But I don't want that day to come a little bit earlier because you want to fucking mismanage your money. I mean, my God, if he fucking ate like I did, he'd probably lose like 50 or 100 pounds in a month. Uh, he'd probably lose like 3 or 4 pounds a day just if he started eating a normal amount of food, and he'd probably be healthier. He's been like last week or so. He's been, oh, my back, my back. Well, yeah, you know, you 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 put that much fucking weight on a back, it's gonna, yeah, that's normal. You need to fucking eat less. You need to fucking do some sit-ups. If you're gonna eat like that, you gotta exercise. And if you don't want to do the exercise, fucking eat less food. It's real fucking simple. I mean, I'm getting to where I can get up. I don't lay around watching. I'm in here doing this, but I get up and I move around a little bit every day, and that's helping me. I think. I hope. And like, cause I told him, and he starts making excuses. Oh no, they want me to do. No, they don't want you to do this, Jess. If they do, they should be fired. I looked it up. He can lie to himself. He can lie to everybody else. But I saw what the experts were saying when I looked it up. If you eat too much meat and you're on dialysis, it creates a toxin in your blood. And then that has to come out. It isn't just the normal stuff that they're dialysing. There's now a toxin in there. They gotta normally your kidneys take care of it, but his kidneys aren't. So it's more work they gotta do. And he shouldn't be drinking his carbonated beverages. He shouldn't be drinking his sugary beverages. He should be drinking like a lot of water. And I told him, I go, when Mom got sick right before she died, I go, she was on restricted water because they were worried about her sodium levels. And she was like, well, can I have that? Can I have that? And I told her, I go, Mom, the only thing you're on is a water restriction because they don't want your blood getting too low on sodium again. I go, the food and stuff you can have. I told him, I go, you need to be on like a way more restricted diet than what she was, because then that way it will relieve what dialysis has to do. I think if he was eating like a normal amount of food, he would probably only need dialysis like twice a week. And I think he'd be having a lot less problems with it. That's just an opinion, but I know the factual stuff that I looked up. But it just seems to me that if he was actually following the restricted diet that he was supposed to have, he wouldn't need to do nearly as much of it. Because that's the thing, like when he first came home from that nursing home, he was drinking Snapple, and all this other stuff. He didn't have any carbonated sodas that he was bringing home. And, and like that was another thing, like, now I don't eat that much of it. But like my understanding, he's not supposed to have any pasta. Well, I don't care. It's up to him. But when I make pasta, I don't usually like reheating pasta. I like it fresh the first time. So when I make that, I tell him, I go, you can have the rest of it if you want. I like it for one meal, and I don't. Brats are the same way. Like we've done brats, and I tell my guy, look, the brats are good. I'll definitely do them again, but I really don't want the second meal of them. I like them when they're fresh. I go, no, like hot dogs, I don't mind. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Could all be in my head. I don't know. But hot dogs, I don't mind reheating. I don't. Brats, I like them when they're fresh. It does, and it probably doesn't make any sense. Guess what? It don't make any sense to me. But all I know is they taste good the first time. When I reheat them, they don't taste as good. And so yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, I did a meme. I put it up on Threads, and it was a picture of Biden. I got to make some more of those. It was a picture of Biden, and it was the top of it was the reporter going, President Biden, would you like to comment on Trump's indictment? And then I put on the bottom of Biden going, oh no, I think he's fucking it up all enough on his own. He doesn't need any help. But oh my God, I can't believe this shit. I haven't gotten an answer yet, but I reached out to on Threads, MSNBC, and three or four actual former prosecutors that are all retired now. And I go, look, I'm honestly asking, and I don't know, but I go, is this something that either the prosecutor needs to file a motion on or the judge needs to talk to Trump and his lawyer? Because this was like a week or so ago. This new lawyer he's got, Rudy was at least appeared to be drunk when he did it. He would be he would basically go on the TV and confess to what Trump was doing. I mean, there were times back during the Mueller investigation that Rudy would go out and say something on Fox News or OAN, and the Justice Department was literally putting it into a fucking subpoena and getting the court's permission to go grab some shit. It's like, what the fuck? Where this guy, he went. I will play as much as I can, but somebody wants to hold hands right now. Yeah, somebody's reaching out to me. But oh my God, man, they I don't know if you can even see her. Yeah, you can see her right here. Yeah, I've got to wait a minute. There's a little bit of a delay, but I can, yeah, right there, right there. And yeah, she wants to hold because I had the controller manage her paws were reaching out to grab it. That's what she does, and the other cat does it a little bit. And I think we had one dog in the family that would do that. He'd reach out and pull your hand towards him. The dogs, usually what they'll do is they'll nudge your hand with their head. And the other cat does that more often. She's the one that usually does this hand holding. And yeah, you good. Come on, those are good stories. She doesn't like it when you talk about her. She doesn't like that at all. Yeah, she's leaving now, so I can go back to playing. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but that's like it's been a while since I've seen those patrols over here, and I got like two in 5 or 10 minutes. That was really weird. Okay, they had a clip of. Oh, hang on. They had a clip of Beyonce or Skinwalker Ranch on. It was the final episode. I'm not entirely sure. I want to be clear. I know what they said, and it really sounds like they had a rocket disappear. I know in the past they, but if it's true, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, I wasn't there. I don't think they would lie about this. But they made the case that they launched like a big ass rocket, and they talked about. I did this on another stream. They talked about it. This was one that was supposed to go like 10,000 feet up in the air. It was supposed to break the sound barrier, and they launched it, and nothing. There was no breach in the sound barrier. There's no sonic boom or anything else, and it just seemed to vanish. And if it vanished, that might be proof that there is a wormhole on the ranch. That was kind of huge. That was absolutely kind of huge. Yeah, he did that to me like a week or so ago. Yeah, right at the end of July, because he thought his taxes were due. And with what he was, I was thinking maybe because I got something too, where TurboTax let me know something about January or July 31st for your taxes. And I told him, I go, look, I've done this before. I go, I'm pretty sure you got till October, because he wanted to borrow some money, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to have to go to the bank anytime soon, and I've got money to take out to pay for the cable bill and food and because that's another thing, and I'm not asking him, because if he's enough of a dick, I'm just gonna cut him off. I don't wanna be counting on him for that. And down the road, I'm probably gonna have to get rid of it anyways. And I'll keep for as long as I'm going, I'll keep the internet going, and I'll keep some of the other stuff. But the dish is a luxury that I may or not be able to keep doing. And but he was being a total douchebag about some shit. This is before I left him at the fucking grocery store, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I told him, I let you watch my TV for free. I go, I'm not asking you to kick in half or anything like that. And I go, and there's a lot of things you're fucking up on it. I go, you got like, and I told him, I go, you got all these fucking timers on here. Because I basically told him, I go, hey, look, I'm paying the bills on this now. Mom isn't. And I go, I'm telling you right now, if you start recording a bunch of shit like you did before, I go, you don't record a fucking thing. And I go, if you do, you're going to lose it. You will not have your TV privileges anymore. Well, he's got like 50 or 100 fucking timers on it. So it goes from one thing to the next. And I kind of told him, I go, look, I don't have a dog in the fight. But I go, if this thing fucks up, your fault, their fault, nobody's fault. I go, you're losing your TV privileges. I go, you need to get that down to where you got like 4 or 5 of those on there. And that's it. But I go, because I went in there the one time to fucking schedule something that I wanted to watch. Because I told him, I go, I really wouldn't care that much, but I go, I can't go upstairs right now. And I go, I actually am using this, and this is while I was all fucked up and laying in bed all day. And I told him, I go, I don't need you fucking this up. Because I go, it worked fine while you were gone. And then I go, shortly after you got home, the hard drive took a shit and some other stuff took a shit. And I told him, I go, I don't care if it's your fault or not. I go, you're doing all this stupid shit on here. And I go, you're at least not recording anything. I'll give you the credit for that. But I go, you got like 100 fucking timers on there where, oh, well, at 4 o'clock, it'll change it to this channel. And at 8 o'clock, it'll turn it to this. And at 9 o'clock, it'll turn it. I go, you got a fucking remote. I go, that's all you got to do. I go, I'm sitting there thinking, all day he spends in front of the fucking TV with the remote right next to him. You don't need all these fucking timers. It would make more sense for me because there's times where I go into the kitchen to watch it, and it would be nice if it automatically went from channel to channel so I don't have to go carry the remote from room to room, for he does not fucking need it. And he got kind of quiet, but I told him, I go, just so you know, this thing fucks up, you're losing it. Just like you lost the internet. I did it once. I go, I went and put it on where after like so many hours it shuts off. And I go, that's the way. I go, I'm the one paying the bills. It's fucking mine. That should be it. Well, I go, somehow it's gotten changed to where it's on for like 8 hours before it shuts off. I go, don't care. But I go, the minute this thing fucks up, I go, you will not be watching TV. I go, I might get it fixed. I might bring mine down from upstairs. But I go, you will not be watching TV. You will be cut off. Because I go, I'm not dealing with this shit. I go, you did this with Mom and Laura where they told you not to do something and you were too fucking stupid to listen. And I go, I told you once. I told you that we were going to have this thing shut off after 4 hours. And I go, I don't know if you went and changed it. I go, I'm not looking. When it fucks up, you've lost your TV privileges. And I don't know. But I go, you've got all these fucking timers in there. Well, then he got real quiet. And it took a while. But the timers seemed to go back because this is the thing. I watch it in the morning. I put the news on in the morning when I'm feeding the cats. And then I went back like 5-6 hours later. And it's still on. After 4 hours, mine should shut off. Well, when he changes his, it changes mine. And but I told him, I go, this is, and I told him, and he's still doing it. Like he'll take apples in there and that. And I told him, and I go, look, I already told you to quit eating in here. And I go, I don't give a fuck what it is. I go, I don't. But I go, I told you to quit eating in the fucking living room because I go, you're a fucking slob. I go, you remember back to what your fucking house and apartment was like. I go, I'm the only fucking one cleaning around here. And I go, you do what you want. I go, I caught you eating Cheetos in there and some other shit. I go, you've even done it in the kitchen where you're fucking eating like a fucking slob. Food's falling on the floor. Well, I go, at least on a hardwood floor you can see it and you can clean it. But I go, here's the thing. I go, if we ever get some kind of a insect infestation in that, I go, that couch is going to get thrown out. I go, we're not going to try and fumigate it. We're not going to fucking listen to your bullshit. The couch will be gone. And you'll either be sitting in that one chair over there, or you'll be sitting on the floor until you buy a piece of furniture to sit on or to sleep on. You can sleep on the floor. You can sit on the floor. And he got real quiet. I go, you do what you want. But I go, this shit where you're going to keep being a fuck up and expect everybody else to fucking deal with it. I go, those days are gone. I won't be doing this shit. You know, if he has to, here's the thing: if he has to inconvenience, and I told him, you don't worry about what I do, because I'm the only fucking one cleaning around here. Because breakfast time, after I feed the cats, I'll usually take a donut in and have it in the bedroom. Well, you know what? I don't get food all over the fucking place. There's some stuff now that my foot's getting better and I can put some weight on it. There's stuff I bring and I eat in here. Well, if a little food gets on the floor, guess what? I know it. I clean it. It's not going to sit there until the fucking ants find it. Oh, you're going to die. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, oh, and that's another thing I watched. God, it was another Need to Know. I think it came out end of last week or over the weekend, but there's a new Need to Know podcast by Ross Coulthart and Zabel. And it sounds like there's going to be another UFO hearing. I don't know if it's this month or next month. I think there might be another one, but I think it might be in the Senate this time. And I will try and do. I can't intelligently do unless I already did. I don't think I've done it yet. But I found a video, and I don't think it was all that new. And if I did a stream on this, I apologize. I'm not remembering it right now. But there was a thing in Canada. It was called Shag Harbor, and it happened mid to late 60s, and it was kind of like the Phoenix Lights one. It was very well seen. You had, I think, law enforcement officers. You had people working in the airline industry, so pilots and stuff like that, people at the airport. You had people that were on in the water, people that like fishermen, other boating people, and they saw this thing. And I kind of reached out to Congress on it, and I said, hey, look, I don't know, it's kind of old. I don't know if any of these people are still alive. Well, somebody did some research on it, and he was a kid when it happened. He was like 7, 8, 9, something like that. But it happened like mid to late 60s, if I remember right. And again, it wasn't like, a couple fucking flat earthers out in the woods drinking beer, playing with each other saw it. It was like the whole community saw it. And there were people that, and this is the thing that I found really interesting. I go, you guys should really see if you can get a hold of these guys, or maybe Canada, and see if you can get some information on this. Because one of the guys, when he researched it, I think in the 80s or something like that, what happened was he found like a microfilm archive. According to him, this was on the History Channel. If they're lying to me, then I'm sorry. I'm probably lying to you. But they looked into this microfilm repository, and there's like over 100 cases that had been investigated by the Canadian government, and he found this one in it. And I go, if they're telling the truth, I go, it sounds like they found documented evidence in Canada that they were working with like the U.S. military and diving teams. And I go, that might be a good way for you to go to get some information. Talk to these guys, find out what they pulled out of the Canadian archives. Talk to the Canadians, because if these guys can get it, they might be willing to talk to you, a co-equal branch of government, and get some information on it. But I go, this thing here, according to what they are reporting on it, it showed a couple of the identifiables or characteristics that Lou Elizondo said they looked for. I go, this was something that flew in the air, and it seemed just as adept at going underwater. And I go, they also said that, it also, because I read a book on this, like, fuck, like 20 years ago. That's when I found out about it. I did not find out about it till I was in my 20s or 30s. But I go, they sent divers in there to check it out when it was underwater. And I go, this could be a real huge one for you guys to like try and, try to find out, because if there's anybody still alive, you could maybe bring in some of the military people that were in there. They might be dead now. I don't know, but it's got to be easier to try and find people for that than like for Roswell. There we go. Come on. But yeah, so that was one. But I'm really waiting to see what happens, because I think Ross, and again, he might eventually get stuff wrong, but he seems to have really good contacts inside the government. And the way he's talking, Congress is pissed. Some of them are a little more quiet than others, but that Tim Burchett, he's basically saying that we are positive that he goes, I don't know if we could prove it in court. I think that's what he said. I might be going pretty close to word for word, but he said, I don't know if we could prove it in a court of law, but he goes, there's many of us that are positive we've been lied to. And the way he was talking, they had NASA was going to come in and answer questions, and then he figures somebody got to him because they backed out at the last minute. And just the more you hear from some of these guys that are in there, I really think that what they need to do is they need to have, and again, I don't really care how they do it, but they need to have like a joint committee, well, kind of like what they were going to do for January 6th, like what they did for 9/11. But they need to have like a House and a Senate come together, have full subpoena power, be able to do whatever they want publicly. And this is the thing I asked them. I go, well, you guys are like a co-equal branch of government. And I go, you had people that broke the law in the Iran-Contra. I go, you guys might not be old enough to remember it, but I was in fucking high school when that was going on. And I go, you had people that broke the law. You had people that broke the law. They were put on trial. They were convicted, and they were put in jail. And they tried to pull the same shit they did with Mike Flynn. They went in and appealed it, and they said, oh, well, these guys testified before Congress, so they magically have immunity, because, and it was the same thing they kind of did with Michael Flynn. And the judge just basically went off on the lawyers and Mike Flynn when they did. But they tried to tell the judge, oh, well, nobody told Mr. Flynn that it was illegal to lie to the FBI. So, we need to dismiss this, kind of like the shit they're doing with Trump. Hey, no, he didn't know he was breaking the law, so we just need to open up the gates and let him the fuck back out to do it again. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, there's no way you guys are going to be able to prove that he didn't know the election was stolen. No, maybe they can't, but they're going to be able to prove that unless he was a fucking moron, he should have known, And, but that's what happened with that. These people just magically, and I said, look, if on the Iran-Contra thing, that's what I'm saying. There might be, I've literally done this on Threads. I don't know if I think I might have done some of it on Twitter, but it's entirely possible that there are people in the military, people in the intelligence community, and people in the military-industrial complex like, yeah, we need to get that guy declared incompetent and just fucking lock him up somewhere, because this is actually shit. Because I made the comment, I go, look, if they don't want to fucking do what you tell them, I go, because I don't know exactly where this fell apart, but they tried to get a skiff for that one that they did last month, and somebody denied them. They could not get a skiff for that, and they're like an oversight branch. This is not the fucking House Committee on fucking waxing nipples. They're like government oversight. They should have a fairly wide responsibility to look at shit, and they were denied a skiff where they could basically go in and look at classified stuff. And they weren't. I don't think they were even really given a reason for it. Well, you've got people in power going, hey, wait a minute. If somebody takes this motherfucker seriously, this is bad for us. Because I'm like, well, hey, if they could basically accidentally, magically grant immunity to the criminals in Iran-Contra, can't you guys purposely give them immunity? Can't you bring in whoever you want, subpoena, get them in there, and bring them in, and just basically grant them immunity, grant your committee immunity, and they can come in and tell you everything. Because I go, a law is a law, and if Congress could accidentally grant somebody immunity from breaking a law, then they should be able to purposely give somebody immunity for breaking the law. It's just that simple. Because oh my God, and that's the thing. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, maybe there's somebody that's plotting my demise, because there's members of Congress. It's being reported that members of Congress are basically referring to crash retrieval programs as illegal crash retrieval programs. They're starting to refer to some of these government UFO programs as illegal because they're not reporting to Congress. And, I think the shit's getting real. I'm going to go see now. If this doesn't trigger... Oh, we got another raid. I'm going to do one more. And then when this one's over, maybe before this one's over, I'm going to go down and I'm going to start emptying out. That might be the end of the stream. I don't know how long I've been doing this. Yeah, I've been going for over an hour. I might end the stream, get a couple more things done, and then might try and get some stuff done for the next one. I don't know. But fucking A. This is the thing. I always assume this. And I think it was that Bryce Zabel. He's one of the Need to Know UFO guys. And he was friends. And I was actually a big fan of this guy. Can't stand Stanfield or Stanton. He was a nuclear physicist. He was like a nuclear rocket guy. That's what his expertise was in. Well, he really researched Stanton Freeman. That's the guy's name. Friedman, I think, is his name. He died, and when he was getting old, when he was getting sick, Zabel, I guess, had become friends with him. He might have became friends with him when he was doing that Dark Skies TV show. Not to be confused with and it was a pretty good movie, but this was a TV show that I believe was on NBC. And I can't think of that. I think the one guy's name was Walsh or Wash or something like that. If you saw A Few Good Men, he was the Marine officer that was working for Jack Nicholson, the one that killed himself. Remember, let's make assisted suicide legal. Let's make assisted suicide illegal, so TV characters would have better options too. And but he killed himself because he couldn't protect those guys, and he was playing a guy in there, and it basically was back around the 1940s, like right after World War II, and Harry Truman, some aliens came down. They told us that we had to surrender and basically let them take us over. And his, in the TV show, his military basically said, well, yeah, we need to do it. They're so much more advanced. Well, this guy that had been in A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson, he said, no, let's open fire. And they're like, well, wait a minute, why? Truman wanted to know. He said, he goes, I just don't think if they could honestly do it that they'd be trying to get us to give in like this. They would have demonstrated we didn't have a choice. And Harry Truman thought about this. I love this scene in there if I'm remembering it right, and that take it with a grain of salt. But he said something along the lines like, "Well, if we survive this tonight, I want a special unit to look into this." And he pointed at the colonel. He goes, "I want him running it, you know." And so they did. They survived. Well, these aliens, what they would do is they would. It was a little bit like what happened to Malaria in Babylon 5. They would put something in you and it would grow and take you over. And I don't know if this is true or not. I really don't. I don't think he's lying. I really don't think he's lying. I just don't know if it's true or not. But that Bryce Zabel on Need to Know, he was like one of the writers. I think he had something to do with producing the show. At least he had something to do with writing it. And he said they were at some big Hollywood party, and he thinks it was an encounter with the Men in Black. They showed up. Nobody knew who they were, and they wanted to know if they wanted help. That there were people that wanted to help them make that show. Well, they took it at first. Well, then, and this, again, I don't know if this is why the show got canceled. I really don't know. I'm not making any claims. I'm just telling you what he said and what I know. Because the show only lasted like a season and a half or 2 seasons. But apparently at a certain point they came to him and they said, well, this isn't real. These things are not violent. They don't take these people over. And they told him, they go, look, we're not trying to make a documentary here based on what you're telling us. We're trying to make a show that is going to get some fans, it's going to get a following, and will keep being made, so we keep getting a paycheck. And so I don't know, but it was kind of interesting to find that out. See, another one, and again, I will try to do more on some of that stuff I talked about earlier. I just wanted to talk about general shit. But if you know who Dan Aykroyd is, if you don't, ask your grandparents. Dan Aykroyd was making a show, and I would really love to get the whatever he made that ended up on the cutting room floor. But he was doing, according to him, again, I don't know. I literally don't know. I think he's a good guy. I don't think he would lie, but I don't know that what he's saying is true. I don't think he would purposely lie, but, could he be having a moment as he's getting older? Could it be, some kind of mood altering effect? And it could be true. I really don't know. But he was making some kind of a show that was going to either do UFOs or it was going to be one like sightings where they kind of looked at everything. And he was supposed to be having a big meeting, according to him. He was going to have a big meeting with the studio execs. And they were getting the green light. And then when he showed up for this meeting, he's claiming it was a Men in Black encounter. There was somebody at a car dressed up like a man in black who just kind of looked at him, smiled, and nodded. And then a bus or something went in front of him, and he was just gone. The car was gone. The person was gone. And when he went to his meeting, they had done like a complete 180, and they said, yeah, we really can't tell you anything about it, but we've just decided to cancel your show. And, I don't know. I really don't know. He was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about crystal skulls. He was talking about I think it's vodka. There's an alcohol he makes. Now, he was talking about all that. Well, him and Joe Rogan, and I've only seen it that one time. I think they wiped it from the internet, or at least I haven't seen it again. And I've seen clips from the show, but I've never, because I was watching like the whole show, and it was like a 3-hour interview. He had Dan Aykroyd on there, and I don't remember if Dan Aykroyd brought it up or if Joe Rogan did. But they got talking about, they went through his show getting canceled. They went through what he has to do for the vodka he does. And I'm not kidding you. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know if I have that much to spend. But I think it would be worth buying it just for the crystal. Because I think the jar is like a crystal skull shaped jar. I think that whether you're gonna drink it or not, whether you enjoy it or not, I would think that keeping the bottle would be a collector's item just by the sound of it. Well, I don't think he was even. I can't remember if he even had one with him, but he was talking about the bottle, and it's like, my God, that would be a collector's piece just for the storyline alone on it. And but my God, they got talking about it's an Olympic athlete, female, and they got talking about her, and apparently she had had sex with a Bigfoot, and this is like an hour and a half, 2 hours into the episode, and I'm just like, okay, this is just getting on. Even for me, and I like watching this shit, but that's where they kind of lost me. And like I said, I've never seen it again, but I think they figured out. I think they figured out that was just too far. That was just too far. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the well, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, and I will go empty that out, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do, but I will end the stream. I want everybody to have a good day. Oh, the sun's coming back out, so maybe we're not gonna get that storm, but I hope everybody has a good day, and I will talk to you later. Peace out. Have a good day.